morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about 4 key skills for public speaking. And I use a little acronym. I call them the 4 Ps. And in no particular order, they are passion, they are your poise, they are your preparation, and they are your presence. So, preparation, passion, poise, and presence. I'm going to go through those one by one, and it's just a little webinar on 4 tips to help you elevate your public speaking. And if you've got those 4 Ps under control, you're setting yourself up for success. Let me share my screen. The 4 Ps of public speaking. Peter Dhu is my name, public speaking trainer and coach, and my passion is helping you find your voice so you can confidently and effectively share your ideas, your messages with your clients, with your community, with the people that need to hear what you've got to say. If I can move you one step along your hierarchy of confidence, of effectiveness, of impact when you're public speaking, then that makes me really happy. So welcome. This is a catch-up because I neglected to do this webinar in January as a result of some technical issues. Hopefully everything goes well on this session, and I'm going to email this recording to everyone who registered for the 4 Ps of public speaking. Feel free to email me any questions that you might have. Take notes. This is recorded so you can be able to play it back and forth, and think about your own circumstances. How passionate are you when you get on stage, when you get before a group of people? How passionate, not how passionate you feel, how passionate does the audience perceive you coming across? Because if you think you're passionate and the audience thinks you're disinterested, then probably disinterested is what they're going to walk away with. So you may have to make sure and check in with your audience that you do have passion and it comes through. So how can I be more confident and how can I be more effective? These are the 2 common questions I get. And with passion, poise, presence, and doing great preparation, you can be both more confident and more effective. The 4 Ps of public speaking. And why does it matter? So your preparation gives you what to say. So this is your content, this is your timing, this is doing your audience research, making sure that your message correlates with their expectations. Passion is why you speak. You want to make a difference in people's lives. You want to help people move from a place where they're stuck to a place where they see hope, light at the end of the tunnel. You want to help people go from a place of maybe financial insecurity to, I've now got my superannuation under control, or I can see what I need to do. And presence determines how you connect. Walk on stage, you don't tell people what to do, you don't lecture, you're able to attend to people's needs, you see people nodding, you see people perplexed looks, and you're able to attend to the energy, the needs of the people in the room. That is called presence. And poise is that ability to keep going under pressure. And sometimes you'll get difficult questions. And if you're asking people to change, you'll get pushback, you'll get objections, you'll get resistance to that change. And your ability to maintain poise helps with that calmness, helps with the presence, helps the passion going, also shows that you've done preparation. Let's dive in to these 4 Ps. So preparation. I think preparation is the foundation of confidence. I love to know who's going to be in the room. So I often do a pre-workshop survey. Who's going to be in the room? What do you want from me? What's the biggest issue you've faced? So I really know my audience. I also know my topic, and I anticipate what questions will be. Venue, I arrive early. Yesterday, I was at one of our teaching hospitals in Perth. I arrived at 6:30 a.m. for an 8 a.m. start. I found out where the venue was. I got there nice and early, and there was a room change. So just as well I was there early because someone else had booked the bigger room and we got bumped to a smaller room. But because I was there early and I had everything ready, I was able to change venues with the assistance of the organizer. But you have something in your mind, you're going to have this sort of room set up, and then it changes on you. Preparation enables you to handle that. With your audience, what's keeping them awake at night? What's the biggest issue they're facing? And how does your message cater for them? Some other practical tips around preparation are do some rehearsal. Do some rehearsal. Use an AI app. Use audit.ai. Use Yoodli, YOODLI.ai, and run through your key content and see what Yoodli comes back with. And Yoodli can even ask you questions that you're likely to be asked. This is your rehearsal. With a job interview, you would probably have a colleague or a friend who you get to practice job interview skills with. And do check your technology. I always carry with me a mobile boombox. And while I love HDMI, it doesn't always work. And sometimes people want to stream the PowerPoint, so they use Google Chrome, Chromecasting, or they use some other type of information where we connect and it just doesn't work. So knowing your tech is really, really important. Turn your mobile phone off so you don't get any phone calls. Any other interruptions, just be really prepared. Have your attendance list up front with you. And as I said, walk in your audience's footsteps, know what they want, do a pre-audience survey, and make sure you're tailoring your message to meet your audience's needs. Tailoring your message to meet your audience's needs. The reverse is you do a wonderful presentation and it misses the mark, and the audience is sitting there waiting and the message goes over their head and it doesn't resonate. Preparation, for me, is the key to a successful presentation. Knowing your venue, knowing your audience, knowing your topic, so you can handle those questions, those objections. Further preparation. Are you clear on what you want people to do after you've spoken? I tell people, if your audience, your workshop, your group walk away with one thing, what is that one clear message going to be? Work out with your core message. What questions might you get? Are you delivering bad news? Are you downsizing? Are you restructuring? Are you removing some funds from one organisation to another? Then anticipate those questions. And being flexible. What if your time gets cut? You've got a 30-minute presentation, Peter. Oh, someone wants to do an introduction. The GM, the general manager, is coming along. So can you cut from 30 minutes to 20 minutes? And as I said before, know your venue. Know your venue really well. Can you turn the air conditioning on? Do you know how to turn the lights off if the PowerPoint's, if the lights are too bright for PowerPoint? Emergency evacuations. All of this helps you feel comfortable. Passion, conviction in your message. Here's what I believe. Public speaking is marketing. It is selling. You are selling an idea. You are selling information. You are selling knowledge. You are selling the possibility of changing the way we do things from one policy to another policy. And you want people to follow you, to adopt your way of thinking, to follow the 3 steps you've put forward. If this is what you want, then you must sell your idea to yourself. In public speaking, we say the first sale must be to yourself. And the passion is what carries that sale. If you do not believe in what you're telling people to do, if you're not authentically aligned with your message, then people will pick a fake. They'll know you're just going through the motions. You're just reading a sheet that came from head office and these are the new changes, and you yourself are thinking, why are we doing this? I don't think this is a good idea. That's an example of when you don't have passion and you're for the message and you're not aligned with what you're asking your team, your staff, your clients to do. So first sale must be to yourself. And when you're passionate about something, helping people, changing their lives, improving things, making their work safer, then the fear you may have around public speaking is going to diminish a little bit because you're less worried about what people are thinking about you and you're more focused on how can I help you, because your passion kicks in. So passion. Why are you doing this? Why am I passionate about public speaking? You probably know that I'm a person who stutters, and for a large part of my life, I didn't speak. So my contribution to the workplace, my contribution to society, my contribution to my family was limited because of my fear, my stutter, my avoidance of public speaking. And the energy that you bring, and we're going to talk about presence later on, the energy you bring is related to the meaning you associate with your presentation. So you're aligned both in the message, but your body language, your physicality is aligned with what you're sharing with people. There's that emotional connection. And passion is internal. So please understand, thumping your hand up and down, shouting does not necessarily indicate passion. The passion should come in also your lived experiences. So as you go on stage, understand people have probably Googled you. They've probably stalked you on LinkedIn. They know a little bit about you. So what you've done in the past is that aligned with what you're sharing with people. So passion doesn't stop when you walk off stage. Passion doesn't start when you walk on stage. Passion is almost an internal alignment with your message. And it's kind of why we do what we do, why I teach public speaking. I never want anyone to not share their message because of fear, of self-doubt, because of imposter syndrome. So many great ideas. So many people want to speak up, but they don't because they're afraid. They're afraid. And this is where passion can help you through. And this is where my passion comes from, that lived experience of being unable to speak for a large part of my life. Presence. Presence is that sort of outward calmness. It's the way you stand. It's the avoidance of dancing, swaying from side to side. It's the avoidance of fidgeting with pens, with glasses. It gives you the ability to be present and attend to the people in the room. And presence can be practiced. Walk onto the stage calmly. Don't rush. Stand there, make eye contact. Pause and then speak. Yesterday at the workshop at one of our teaching hospitals, people were walking and talking before they got on stage. And then they were, thank you very much, and they were walking off the stage as quick as they could. And the rationale, the quicker I get this done, the quicker I'm off. So good morning, everyone. My name's Peter Dhu. I'm really pleased to be here. And they're not even in front of the room yet. So presence can be practiced. That calmness, that slowing down, that no rush, that looking at everyone in the room. That's starting strong. So presence is about you getting out of your head and focusing on people in the room, attending to their needs. It's the consistency of message and behavior. Do you walk the talk? The time management guru who starts 5 minutes late, the time management guru who goes 10 minutes over time, that's going to lose a little bit of credibility. So presence is about you being consistent. It's the intentional use of physical space. So I'm standing still on this Zoom. However, on a bigger platform, I will move to one side of the room. And over here will be a flip chart. And I'll do some work on the flip chart. And I'll stand here for a while. I'm very comfortable standing here. I'll reorientate my hips. So I'm still looking straight down the front of the room, straight down the camera. And of course, I can come back to the center. I'm going to resettle for a while. And then on the other side of the room, I have a whiteboard. The whiteboard is more for my spontaneous stuff. And sometimes my parking lot, when someone throws me a question, let's take a note of that. Whereas my flip chart over here is more for my planned models, the process I'm going to go through. And yes, I do have PowerPoint as well, and the PowerPoint will be behind me. But I don't leave the PowerPoint up the whole time. Presence is the ability to respond to the room. One of the mistakes that I see is a speaker says something, they make a statement, they put forward their opinion, their recommendation, and the whole room does this. And the speaker keeps talking their idea, keeps moving forward with their proposal. But hang on a moment. You've had a powerful non-verbal cue, a powerful reaction from the room telling you it's not okay, they don't agree. If you're truly present, you'll acknowledge and you'll see that non-verbal cue and you'll take a step back and you'll say, all right, just hang on a moment. Before I push forward with this idea, then you're going to ask for some common ground. You're going to find some common ground that everyone agrees with. And when you get nodding again, then you've got permission to then go forward. If you'd like to see that in an example, let's go to health and safety. Let's go to hand injuries. I cut my finger the other day with a carving knife. It's okay. But health and safety. What you're going to do when I talk about hand safety, you're going to say, oh, not another policy, not another thing we got to do. So it goes like this. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to roll out today, as your superintendent, a new Take 5 policy to protect our hands and make sure we've got the right gloves for the right job and the right bit of equipment. And this is where you would shake your head back and forth. So I can't move on. So this is what I need to do. All right, before I move on with this new policy, can we agree that a 50% increase over the last 6 months of hand injuries, that's cuts, broken fingers, loss of fingers in the workplace, a 50% increase is unacceptable, and everyone gets a right to go home with their hands without injuries intact. People will, okay, yeah, that's not good. That's not good news, 50% increase. And of course, that would be a metric they already know. All right, with that in mind, bear with me as I share with you this new Take 5 policy around selecting the right PPE for the right job for the right equipment. Now that nodding gives me permission to now throw something different at them. This is what present does. The other thing you'll see when you're speaking, you'll see the room or much of the room do this. Do you understand they're perplexed? They're not quite with you. So this is an indication that you need to go a bit deeper. You need to spend a bit more time on this issue because not everyone understands it. You can only do this if you're present. So it's being fully here, fully available, responding to the room's needs. Other things I've seen is I have morning tea. I go to different venues. There's an urn down the back and the urn starts boiling, making a noise, and you can see everyone distracted. Now, I can just keep on with my content, or I can stop for a moment, or just give me a moment, I'm going to go and turn that urn off. Or someone down the back, Bill, you're sitting down the back, would you be able to just switch the urn off for me? It's a little bit distracting. That's what presence does for you. It's transformational when I get out of my head, stop thinking about what's happening for me, and are fully present for the people in the room. It's transformational for you as a presenter, as a coach, as a trainer, as a speaker. And poise. Poise is being calm under fire. Yesterday's workshop was off the cuff speaking, and I threw people curly questions and they had to use the models I was teaching them to come up the front and respond with little time to prepare, speaking off the cuff, speaking without preparing, impromptu speaking. And you could see some of them didn't like the question and their body language would collapse. They would drop their shoulders, they would avoid eye contact, and they would mumble. Yeah, thanks, Peter, for that. Thanks for that question. Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, the reality is we are going to get these situations where there's a heckler, there's a difficult left field question, there's a contentious question that comes that challenges us. Job interview. The job interview panel gives us a difficult double barrel, triple barrel question. Can you give me an example of when you've used your interpersonal skills to resolve conflict? And you weren't able to resolve that conflict between two people. And what did you learn from that experience? And what would you do moving forward if you had that conflict again? That's a quadruple barrel question, 4 parts, and our body language collapses. And the interview panel, the audience sees that we're not coping well. So poise is the ability to remain calm, to be nervous. And there was a picture earlier on of that black swan. I took that photo. It's Lake Munga, just down there in West Leederville. I'm in West Leederville, Lake Munga, and I love the metaphor for poise. The black swan glides effortlessly across the water. Majestic, calm, beautiful animals. What's happening below the water? We know the legs are going 100 miles an hour and it's churning, churning, churning. That is public speaking and poise. It's remaining calm on the outside. It's looking confident. It's breathing. Inwardly, you could be dying. You could be dying. You could be nervous. You could have knots in your stomach. But please, poise, so valuable. Remain calm while under pressure. So a little bit more about poise. Calm is more persuasive than confident. So confident is a little bit faked. And public speaking and acting, public speaking and a performance are two completely different things. And performers, drama, actors come across very confident, very polished, very perfect. Public speaking, you need to be more conversational. You need to be calm, but not perfect. You need to be a little bit vulnerable. It's managing nerves rather than eliminating the nerves. I mentioned the black swan. So the knots, the anxiety is still in your guts. You're still feeling it. Your Fitbit's still gone up to maybe 100 beats per minute, but outwardly you look calm. That's poise. That's poise. And one of the best ways to show pause is by using that pace. Not speaking too fast. Being comfortable with pause. As I mentioned, walking on stage, not talking and walking on stage, settling down, making eye contact, and then starting strong. That's poise. I mentioned it's not about being perfect. And of course, recovery is more important than being perfect. Recovery, we can all do recovery, and recovery shows poise. And one of the things I saw about 3 times yesterday was somebody said, "Oh, I've just made a mistake. Sorry, I've just forgotten what I was going to say. Where was I now?" And within 1 or 2 seconds, they had recovered beautifully. Had they not told the room that they'd lost it, they'd forgotten, that had a mind blank, no one would have known. So poise is giving yourself time to think. Poise is being comfortable with silence. Poise is not panicking if you lose your way, because you know you're going to recover. It's about emotional self-regulation, remaining calm while under fire. And standing up in front of a group of people is scary stuff. And we do feel vulnerable. And you will get people that disagree with you. And that's their right. That's their right to disagree with you. You will get alternative opinions, but you're there to share your knowledge with your passion, with your presence. And you've done your preparation, so you've anticipated some of these questions, some of this pushback, and poise. So confidence and effectiveness in public speaking, I don't think any great speaker is born. I think all the great speakers were bad speakers once. So it's the building, it's the preparation, it's the practice. So there's the 4 P's of public speaking. Let me share that with you. It helps you become more effective and more confident. That's the question I get in my workshops. Poise, remain calm while under fire. Presence, the confidence that you project, the way you walk, the way you hold yourself. Passion, first sale to yourself. Do you believe in what you're saying? Just a little backward step on that one. One of the hardest presentations you'll ever do is when you are told, when you are instructed to roll out a new message or a new policy from head office, and you in your role think, "I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this." But it's your job to now tell your staff, your team, that this is what's going to be happening in the future. And if you don't think it's right, if you don't have passion with that message, your team, your audience is going to realise that you're not aligned. So 2 things we can do with that. Number 1, you may not be the right person to deliver that message. If human resources thinks this new policy is a good idea, and you as a team leader don't think it's a good idea, maybe human resources should be conveying that message of change rather than you. Second thing is, if you don't agree or you're not aligned or you don't see the passion, go back to head office and say, help me understand why we're doing this. Why are we having this new take 5 hand policy? Nobody wants to change a new policy and spend an extra 5 minutes before a shift. Why are we doing this? Peter, the reason we're doing this is because there's been an increase of hand injuries of 50% over the last 6 months. Oh, so now I know why head office is doing it. And that helps me get aligned because I want all my team to go home safe and sound. Preparation. Prior preparation prevents pathetically poor performance. Know your room, know your venue, know your audience. And the good news is, all of this is a skill. So if you're not born with it, nor am I. If you're not a natural radio voice public speaker that exudes confidence, nor do I. But you can learn the skill. Thank you for your participation. So, Peter Dhu's my name, public speaking trainer and coach, and my passion is helping you find your voice so you can be more confident and more effective and make a difference in your work, in your world, in the community you work with. Remember, if you do great preparation, if you bring your passion along, you've got presence and you remain calm, poised while under fire, you'll do a great job. Bye for now.